Profile share via email report story. Hitty ho, third Pav. Izuku has had these feelings towards her before. Back in middle school, but that was different. It was just some silly middle school crush, he thinks. He didn't expect these feelings to be carried all the way to high school, let alone grow stronger. Izuku woke up, still tired because he did not get enough sleep. He got up, got dressed, ate breakfast, then started his walk to school. Waitu. A voice yelled from far behind him. Izuku stopped walking and turned around to see Ochako sprinting towards him. She finally caught up to him, taking a moment to catch her breath. All right, let's walk, she said, starting to walk. Izuku followed. It was beautiful at 7:49. Hearing the birds chirp in the blue sky is what Izuku looked forward to on his walk to school, other than walking with Ochako. Have you ever thought about how amazing it would be if you were a bird? Midoriya asked Ochako, looking at the birds chirping in a tree. No, I don't think so. Uraraka replied, just think about it, flying through the sky. Just the thought of being able to fly makes me want to be a bird. Izuku excitedly explained. Just think about what the world would be if it could have superpowers. Izuku said. Uraraka nodded. That would be cool. She said. They arrived at UA. Midoriya held the door open for Ochako as they walked inside. If you were a bird, what type of bird would you want to be? Izuku asked Ochako as they made their way to class. I don't know, Ochako answered. I think you would be a white dove. Izuku said. You just remind me of a white dove a lot. Izuku said, looking up at the sky, then at her. How? Ochako asked, raising a brow. Izuku blushed a little, thinking of his answer. Just then, they made it to their classroom. Well, we're here, Izuku said, throwing the question to the back of his head, hoping that she would forget about it. They walked in, the bell rang, and class started. Izuku couldn't help but think about the bird conversation. Why does she remind him of a white dove? The answer is simple. White doves are pretty, and to him, she's pretty. Prettier than a white dove. Aizawa was explaining something and he wasn't listening. Instead, his focus was on her. For some reason, his eyes trailed to her. Ever since last night, when he discovered his true feelings for her, he couldn't stop thinking about her. Uraraka felt a pair of eyes staring directly at her and looked up from her notebook that she was writing in. She looked around for the source, and found out that it was Midoriya who was staring at her. That's weird. Why is he staring at me? Midoriya flinched, seeing Uraraka's chocolate eyes staring back at him. Midoriya spun his head back to his notebook. I'm sorry, but I'm in a time skip mood. The bell rang, meaning it was the end of class and time for lunch. Izuku and Ochako sit across from each other, just like they always did at lunch. At least that didn't change. They both start eating their lunch. Now that Izuku has noticed his true feelings for Uraraka, he can't help but be a little nervous around her. His cheeks suddenly turning pink when he's around her. Now he's sitting across from her, both eating lunch, he can't help but to stare at her. She still reminds him of a pretty white dove. Her cheeks turn pink as her eyes light up, tasting the food. This tastes so good, Ochako exclaimed, taking another bite of rice. Izuku smiles, taking a bite of his food. She was right, it does taste amazing. Soon, everyone was finished with their lunch, and they headed back to class. Yeet. Finally, school was over. Iida decided to join them on their walk to school again. Iida and Uraraka were having a conversation about what their childhoods were like, while Izuku stayed quiet and thought about his feelings a little more. Does she even like me back? I've got her into trouble far too many times. There is no way she would ever like me back. He came to a conclusion that there is no chance that she would ever like him back. He would just have to shove his feelings down. He would just have to take on the pain when she finds someone who is not constantly getting her in trouble and is not a nerd. And he would have to bear the pain when he watches her get married to a better guy than him. And still then, all they would ever be is just friends. That's how it would stay. As long as she is truly happy with that guy, he would be too. That's the least he could do for her. And whoever that guy would be, he sure will be a lucky bastard. Iida parts way with them and the two arrive at their homes. I'll see you tomorrow, Izuku. See ya. Ochako waves as she runs into her house. Izuku waves back, making his way into his home. Even her running reminded him of a pretty white dove. Me being clumsy at writing today. Count how many times I messed up. Too much. Too many times did I mess up. Gotta go. Me stupidness needs to be let out in the hot garbage. Probably won't though. Page Weird Kid. Where stories live. Discover now.